The societal and human costs of AI taking over our country, taking over our world, are becoming clearer and clearer with every passing day. And solving those problems is very difficult and would probably cost a lot of money. So the AI industry has come up with a different solution. They're just gonna raise a bunch of money and then buy politicians to stop any regulation of AI from happening. And oh boy, have they raised a lot of money. Just this one new pro AI pack Silicon Valley has launched with some very notable names. We can bring up this graphic. They've raised more than $100 million, including from the president of OpenAI. So this is about as high profile as it can be. They've got some big AI people that were behind Donald Trump in his campaign, and they're gonna use this to get involved in campaigns and stop anyone who might be favorable towards regulation for AI from getting through the election. This is significant. It joins a number of other really important and influential special interests when it comes to the tech world. And so to discuss how this is gonna influence elections going forward, we're very lucky to be joined by longtime organizer as well as the national director of the Working Families Party. Maurice Mitchell joins us now. Maurice, how's it going?
It's good to be with you. It's going well. How are you?
It's good. It's good personally to be. I don't know. I never know how to answer that question anymore.
It's really complicated. Yeah, but yeah, all of that, absolutely. That's where I'm at too.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if you saw our A block, but the situation in Gaza is rough. In any event, we're gonna focus on AI here because $100 million is a lot. You can swing some elections with that. And I know that this is something you're worried about. So tell me a little bit about your thoughts about this particular pack and what effect it might have on the elections going forward.
Sure. So a very, very small number of people, right? Like I'm talking like dozens of insanely wealthy individuals, these tech bros, these AI bros, these tech elites, they know that people have incredibly complicated and mixed feelings about AI and what AI might do for their lives, for the economy. And so they want to take democracy out of the equation and they want to install handpicked politicians. And they're following a model. They're following the same model of the crypto industry and of the pro-Israel lobby in just kind of flooding races with all of this dark money, especially on the Democratic Party side, but in both parties. And spending at this scale has a tendency, however, to backfire. And we're seeing people become more aware of groups like AIPAC and the role that crypto has been playing in our elections. Very recently in New York City, WFP endorsed Zohar Mamdani, and the grassroots power that grassroots organizing and that movement was up against $26 million of billionaire dark money, and that organizing beat it. And so it is serious. It is something that we should be concerned with, but also I think it's really encouraging to know that this year in particular, when so many everyday people are attuned to the very destructive way that oligarchs have tried to capture our democracy, people are pushing back. And when they hear that a politician is backed by these very dark and really shady lobbies, people are choosing democracy. I think that's what happened when Elon Musk had his cheese hat on, right? And he put all of that money into the Wisconsin race. A lot of Wisconsinites decided like that was a bridge too far for them. And so we need to be concerned. I'm really glad that you're bringing this up. And $100 million is a significant amount of money. And what I also want to just kind of illuminate is the fact that more and more people are getting wise to the way that these billionaires are trying to basically capture our democracy.
Yeah, I'm always glad for some optimism. You rightly point out that Elon Musk failed in the Wisconsin thing, which is great. I also feel though, like, I don't know, the 230 odd million he put into the election before that probably had a pretty big effect. And I think about like Katie Porter being taken out and Sherrod Brown, and I think about Nina Turner, and I think about the races where it really does feel like this money possibly played like the critical, the influence in changing it. And so it's a lot of money, as you point out. I am curious though, like, what are these AI companies so worried about? Because when I think about AI in government, when I think about what politicians are saying about it, it doesn't seem to me like there's a massive push for substantive regulation, other than maybe deep fakes or revenge porn. I don't feel like there's been a lot of push for that. And so they're putting a lot of money in, which makes it seem as if they're worried. What do you think that they're so worried about?
Well, I think it's two things. I think philosophically they are intolerant of any regulation. And they probably believe in some sort of slippery slope fallacy that any regulation might eventually lead to something that they dislike. And they as, a bunch of oligarchs can't tolerate any accountability, any regulation, and if they have the money, why not spend it in order to bend the democracy to their will? So I think there's an element of that going on. I also think if you listen to these guys, if you listen to, Mark Andreessen, if you listen to Sam Altman, they are kind of in this arms race where they themselves, as proponents of AI, they can't even give a clear answer on what this technology is going to do and whether there's even going to be a positive for humanity and society. The only thing that they're clear on is that they want to be first.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they're clear on. And so I think because they don't know the nature of the technology that they're developing, they want as much space to develop this into whatever it might be, which is scary. That should scare all of us. The people who I guess should know the most about AI, the oligarchs that are funding it, they can't even explain what it is. And famously the CEO of Anthropic said, "Oh, by the way, we might lose 20-30% of the labor force in a few years because of the nature of what AI may bring into the market." That should give everybody pause. And I think based on the things that they're actually saying, I think that is an argument for regulation. And so we all, I think, should be concerned. And I hope what will happen, because there's so many different interests involved in really taking AI seriously, there's an opportunity, I think, to bring together a lot of different working class people, from retail workers to customer service workers to manufacturing workers, people whose jobs are probably going to be first on the chopping block, to people who might live near these huge data centers that are sucking up all of these resources, all of this water, all of this energy. I think there's an opportunity for us as regular people to take a pause and say, look, we are not people who are opposed to technology, but if we're going to invest 10% of our economy now into this technology, we should at least know what it's going to do, and it should at least have a beneficial impact for working people. I don't think that's asking for too much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, and there's all this news coming out. 95% of the AI startups aren't generating any money, and as you point out, even the heads of these companies don't seem to know what the point of any of it is. They just seem to hope that somebody is going to put in a prompt that invents a cure for cancer or something, and they don't seem to know. And then, like, without a clear goal, Sam Altman recently said something like, "We're going to need trillions of dollars of investment so that I can make a cool image of Pikachu in the style of Studio Ghibli or something." Like, what? Like, we don't have high-speed rail, we don't have health insurance, but we should put trillions of dollars in this. And as you point out, people are already getting sick from these data centers, the pollution and all of that. And meanwhile, this is nothing compared to what they want to do. Mark Zuckerberg is talking about making a data center the size of Manhattan, where you're broadcasting from right now. They want it to be way bigger, take up way more electricity, without demonstrating how it actually helps working people.